Welcome back to the channel. My name is A-Bomb. We're back with Football Manager 2019 Easy Resurgence with Berliner FC Dynamo, who aren't playing a game today, but we will be watching a match because today we are going to find out our fate. Our fate will be sealed and it will be in the hands of Bayern Munich to beat Hannover in the German Cup final. If they win, then we will keep our place in Europe as 6th place in the Bundesliga. But if Hannover win, they will take our spot as they did not finish in the top 6. So if they win the German Cup, then they will take our spot in the Europa League. So we need Bayern to win this match. I've never wanted Bayern to win a match so much. After that, we will be having a bit of a look around the footballing world, see what's been happening. I don't want this to be a really short video, which will be about 5-6 minutes. So after the cup final, we're going to have a bit of a look around the save and see what's been happening in other leagues, see what's been happening around the world in the big tournaments, have a look at some big transfers, stuff like that. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. And this will be the big end to the 10th season. It'll mark my longest ever save on Football Manager on YouTube. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. In the 2 games we played last episode, we didn't do well in a 1-0 home defeat to Stuttgart, just 1 shot on target. Terrible performance. But a 2-0 win away against Hannover confirmed our spot in 6th place in the Europa League, providing Bayern win the German Cup. As you can see, we haven't got the EC by our name, which means that we haven't quite qualified for the Europa League yet. Bayern finished in 4th place and actually lost more games than us this season, which is remarkable. Hannover finished in 10th. So if they win the German Cup, then they will get into the Europa League at our expense. So we need Bayern to win the match. We're going to go through all the awards and the best players and all that as well today. So that will be after the game. So there's a few bits to go through. But let's watch the match. Bayern with Pavlak in goal. Meyer, Vandermeer, Fredin, Paslak. Havertz and Frankie de Jong in midfield. Berskard, Feldner, Ruiz and Fofana. De Ligt is on the bench, interestingly, as is Josh Kimmich. That's a strange one. As for Hannover, I don't really recognise any of their players, but they've got a lot of real players, only a couple of regens in there. Bayern, please win this. Please win it, because I want to be in Europe next year. It will be at the 2nd qualifying round, so it's not like it's going to be proper Europe. If we'd have finished 5th, we'd have been in the group stages straight away, but if we do get Europa League, if Bayern win this, then we'll enter at the 2nd qualifying round, so we'll end up facing some bloody like part-timers from Azerbaijan or somewhere like that. But, you know, it'll be a good experience. Hannover go close in the 7th minute, though. Vandermeer wins the header. Here's Fofana and Ruiz, and this could be a goal for Bayern. Berskard's forward, and Berskard scores. There were about 2 or 3 players forward there, so that was always going to go in, whoever it was. But yeah, we haven't had a lot of like big away games, really. We've had some warm weather camps in Spain, but that's really the furthest we've gone. Apart from other away games, have been inside Germany. We've had the odd tour in Spain and Portugal, but that's it. So if we end up going to like Azerbaijan or somewhere like that, that's going to be a huge journey. It'll be like thousands of miles. I mean, who knows who we could get? We could get a nice easy one against like, I don't know, someone from Scotland maybe. I went to do a shout then. I'm not playing this game. This isn't me. I don't need to do a shout though. It's all. It was almost 2-0. But it's weird watching a game that I can't influence. I can't do shouts. I can't make changes. It's really weird. I've never really done. I don't think I've ever done this before. I don't think I've ever watched a game that I'm not a part of. Might be a thing to do in future. If there's games that can influence our position a lot on a final day, what might be fun is to maybe get 1 or 2 guests in to provide commentary for matches that we're not in that can still influence our position. That would be quite a cool thing to do. I should think about that for like future FMs, like FM20. That would be a really cool thing to do. Fofana, great control, but great defending by Nicolau. Really good work by the Hannover defender there. Hannover they've stuck to it. They've done pretty well. Header fight by Felipe. I can't talk. I'm nervous. I'm not even in this match. How am I nervous? Ruiz looks for Fofana. That's a missed header. Fofana, the keeper's in no man's land, and Fofana, an easy open goal. It's 2-0, and Bayern are, well, not quite cruising, but they're in firm control of this final. 10 minutes to go in this first half. Bayern in firm control. Hannover have not had a shot on target yet. They've had possession, but they've done F with it. It sounds familiar. It's what usually happens to us. We have all the possession, but we end up with very few shots. So it's good to see someone else in that position. Bayern well in control, 2-0, and with one hand on the trophy. And we are, well, 1 foot into the Europa League, it seems. Bayern just need to hold firm in this second half. Hannover have offered very little going forward. Svensson's having a nightmare at left wing. But Bayern have been very good defensively and going forward. And the second half is really like coasting along. 25 minutes into the game, in the second half, And there hasn't even been a highlight in the second half. There is a corner here for Hannover though. 75 minutes on the clock. And it's a header wide by Diaz. Looks like we've done it. We're going to be in Europe. I say we've done it. It looks like Bayern have done it. 81 minutes and it's a free kick for them. A deep one. Here's Ruiz though. Could be 3-0 here. He goes past the player there easily. The number 24, Havertz. To Ruiz. He has a player up wide that he can use. Kimmich. And the cross is blocked. But Havertz with it now. And is he going to go himself? He is. But it's a good effort. Well, time trickling down. Hannover still yet to have a shot on target in this game. They have not been at the races in this final, which is brilliant for us. And it looks like Bayern are going to win that German Cup with just seconds left, which means that we will be in the Europa League next season. Fantastic news. And there could be a late goal here, but that's gone into the goalkeeper. Bayern win the German Cup, and we have confirmed our place in the Europa League for season 11 for the very first time. I don't know what BFC Dynamo's record is in Europe, actually. Back when they were in East Germany in the 80s. I wonder what, like the 70s and 80s, I wonder what their European record was. I'm interested to know, actually. That might be worth looking at. Do you know what? I'm going to get Wikipedia up and I'm going to have a look at BFC Dynamo's European record because I'm interested to know how well they did back then. Okay, so of course, because they won the East German division so many times, they were prominent in the European Cup, and the furthest they got was they twice got to a quarter-final in 1980 and in 1984, where they lost to Nottingham Forest and then they lost to Roma. So twice quarter-finalists. They've had some round of 16 ties. They've lost to Villa. They've lost to Austria Vienna, Brøndby, Monaco, the Cup Winners' Cup. But yeah, they did get to a Cup Winners' Cup semi-final against Dynamo Moscow. That was back in 1972. But never further than the European Cup quarter-final. We've got a long way to go until that, definitely. But yeah, they've been in Europe for a good few years, but more often than not, they'll go out in the first round. But they have progressed now and then a few times. So now's the time we're going to go through all the awards and whatnot. So 2 players have entered the best 11 squad. Shaban Kerr gets into the team. Martin Tarnat makes the bench. Azemi and Brasnic still apparently are 2 best strikers, which I agree with. Brasnic is a club icon. I haven't shown you this actually. Brasnic is a club icon, and if we have a look at our club page, you can see that we are a club legend. Someone asked me about that a while ago. I haven't shown it on camera. We're a club legend. In the end of season awards, Shaban Kerr won the award for fans player of the season. Sally came second, the captain. And Yannick came third. A solid loan signing once again for Yannick. Do we keep him here again? I think we might have to, or get him permanently, because Kircher is out of contract. If they both go, we'll have no right backs. And I don't really want to have to buy 2 right backs. It's a very hard position to fill anyway. You know, even if we don't need, if filling 1 right back's difficult enough, let alone 2. So Yannick might have to stay for another year, providing they let us loan him. If not, we might just buy him. Signing of the season was Stakura from Regensburg, only £150,000. And he came in for a less than impressive Schassler and did very, very well. Our young player of the season is the 20-year-old Shaban Kerr. I have told the guys that next season I expect a top half finish, which they agree with. But now we're in the Europa League, that's going to make our job a lot more difficult. More matches to play. That's if we get through. We might go out in the second qualifier after 2 legs, and that might be our European journey over before it had even started. But who knows, we could get far. 1 more place and we would have been in the group stage. If we'd have finished 5th or 4th, we'd be straight into the Europa League group stages. So very close to getting that. If we'd have got anything against Stuttgart on that final day, if we'd have got a draw, I think that might have been enough to get 5th. So before we go, we'll have a quick look around at what else has been happening in the world of football. So we're going to look at some of the other big leagues, some of the ones I got loaded. We'll have a look at some of the big tournaments around the world, World Cups, European Cups and all that stuff. And we'll have a look at what some of the leading transfers are 10 years into the future. What's going to be the biggest fee received for a player? I don't think it's going to be 200 million. I think it's going to be about 160 million. I haven't looked at the screen, so I'm interested to know what that's going to be. I reckon it's going to be about 160, 170 million. So these are the leagues that we have loaded. You can see we've got a lot of sort of neighbouring nations. So Austria, Switzerland, Poland, we have loaded. But let's have a look at the big teams and see what's been happening around the world. So Spurs have just won the Premier League by 2 points. Is that the first time they've won it? It looks like it. Liverpool and Man City have been dominating the past winners. Chelsea, of course, they won it in 2017 and City in 18. Liverpool won the league in 2019 and then Man City won 3, then Liverpool and City alternated for a bit. And then Spurs have just won it for the first time after being runners-up in 2017. But Man United few second place finishes and some third place finishes. But Liverpool and City have mostly dominated, but Spurs have just won the league. Any surprises up here? Fulham got into the Europa League. Leeds are up in 8th as well, got promoted and have been pretty steady and back in the top half. Stoke are back up here. Blackburn and West Brom are back up here as well. Over in France, PSG have mostly been dominant. Monaco have won a couple. Lyon with a couple of runner-up finishes. Over in Serie A, there is still a game to play, but Milan have confirmed the league title. That's been mainly Juventus, but Milan and Inter, the Milan teams have, they've started to come through, but Juve had that big spell of dominance. They've won a few more. Roma with some second place finishes, Lazio with some thirds, Fiorentina as well, and Napoli. And lastly, over in Spain, Barcelona, 101 points. Real Madrid with 99 points do not win the league. Barcelona losing just one game. And again, Barca and Madrid have mostly been dominant. Atletico did win it in 2024 though. And actually won a couple more as well. Won in 2019 and 2020. Then Barca and Real Madrid had 3 between them. Atletico won, and then Madrid and Barcelona back up there again. Sevilla have finished third a couple of times. Valencia. So yeah, again, the Madrid sides and Barcelona have been the big guys in Spain. I think we'll leave it at that for looking around other divisions. A couple of World Cups. Brazil won in 2022, which was held in Australia eventually, not Qatar. England were runners-up and Italy came third. So England very close to a World Cup there. And then in 2026, which is the one hosted by the USA, Canada and Mexico, Argentina win just their third World Cup. France runners-up, England finishing third. So England having a pretty good showing. And that's what happened in the 2 World Cups. There is a European Championship very shortly, actually, in like a month or so, which is going to be held in Italy. In 2020, which was hosted by, of course, various countries, 12 countries, like 20 cities or whatever. France won it and Italy were runners-up. And then in 2024, which went to Germany, Spain won it and Turkey came second. So a good showing by the Turks. And most of those are German anyway, so I feel like Germany's done well there. Okay, this is one thing I wanted to see was the leading transfers. So let's go to World, let's go to transfers. And let's see what the leading transfers are. So I predicted about 160, 170 million. It's 142, and it's Marco Asensio is the most expensive transfer in the game. From Real Madrid to Man City in 2021. He's now 32 years old. And, well, it hasn't been spectacular for him, really, is it? He got double figures a couple of times, but for the most expensive player in the game, I'd expect a little bit more than that from Asensio. Who else have we got here? Fernando Galli from Sevilla. Went to Chelsea. He is a regen. He's a right winger. And he looks very, very good. 20 flair. Oh, I'd love to have him at my club. 18 assists for Sevilla in 2024. That's remarkable form. 15 Man of the Match award. He got 10 goals for Chelsea one season. Plenty of assists. He looks like a real player. He's a regen. He's not a real player. Diego Derrick went from PSG to Man United. He is a centre-back. So Harry Maguire, not the most expensive centre-back. In fact, that transfer hasn't happened on this game. I'm assuming not anyway. Only happened last season, actually. But most expensive defender, 129 million. Other real players up here. Gianluigi Donnarumma went to PSG. This was 6 years ago. That was 98 million. It could have risen to 111. Skriniar went to Real Madrid. Dybala went to Man City. Ruben Neves went for 97 million. And that was in the first season. Who's been winning the Ballon d'Or? Mbappe, most recent winner of the Ballon d'Or. Galli, who was that expensive winger we saw. And Jadon Sancho, the top 3 most recently. Mbappe has won 4 Ballon d'Ors in a row. Milinkovic, Savic and Sancho, runners up there. Salah and Sancho, Lamar and Sancho. Salah won the Ballon d'Or in 2023 ahead of De Bruyne and Sancho. Sancho, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Neymar won it in 2022 behind Bernardo Silva and Salah. Messi won it in 2021 behind Ronaldo and Mbappe. I mean, that could be this year for all we know. That could be 2019. Although we all know Van Dijk's winning it this year. Neymar won it again in 2020 ahead of Lamar and Dybala. And Ronaldo won it in 2019 ahead of Gareth Bale and Neymar. Ronaldo at 43 is the Real Madrid assistant manager. I can't think of Ronaldo assisting anything apart from the odd goal. I wonder what Messi's up to. Messi is unemployed. Left Barcelona in 2024 and does not have a job. But he's not a very good coach. He's very determined, but he's not a very good coach. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. We are going to be in Europe next season, so this save will continue for the foreseeable future. Maybe until we win the Champions League. Either that or it'll be until we get sacked or until F20 comes out. So Potentially the save could be going until the end of FM19. I don't think we're going to be doing another save on YouTube. That's going to do it for today's video. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it, do drop a like down below, leave comments, and if you want to see videos as and when it's up on YouTube, do hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to receive updates if I upload or go live. Follow me on social media so you don't miss any of my content. I'll see you next episode for the start of season 11. Now we're in the second round of qualifying for the Europa League, which means our season will probably start in like the middle of July or something. I'm not sure when the second qualifying round is, but I think it's pretty early. So it might be a bit of an early start than usual to the season, which means transfers might not even be in. But thank you for the continued support on the channel. In fact, tune in. It might already be out, but there is a video over on a channel called Custard Profit, which I'm in, where I talk a bit about my channel. And if you want some new FM creators to watch, he's putting videos out, I think, every couple of weeks, where he's looking over some smaller creators. So I'll leave a link down in the description. If you want to go and check that out, do so. If you want some new creators to go and find, I'll leave a link to his channel, give it a sub. And I think there's going to be videos out on that every couple of weeks. So keep an eye out for that. I'm in the first one, a bit of a guinea pig for the series. And yeah, hopefully it'll be really, really cool. But anyway, guys, I'll leave you there. Thank you for watching. And I will see you next season for season 11 and our first season in Europe. We're going to face some farmers from Eastern Europe probably, but it's still Europe nonetheless. Where else do you get that sort of experience? Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.